Good morning, campers. We're driving down US 93 in Clark County, Nevada, which is, you might be familiar with, is the same county as Las Vegas. So we're not too far from Vegas. We're like an hour out from Vegas. We're 7.5 miles from I-15, so this one's going to be short again, because I keep getting more questions about leasing again, and I want to just like cover this topic again. I know we just did a video not too long ago where I just said don't lease a truck. So I want to reiterate that if you are in the trucking industry and want, like, people think there's two options. There's be an employee driver driving a truck for somebody else, or there is drive your own truck. And leasing is the in-between of that. But a lot of people go into leasing thinking it's the drive your own truck option. And it's very much not driving your own truck. If you're leasing a truck, you're not an owner-operator. I am not an owner-operator. I am a lease operator. But I'm also not an employee. So what happens there is people get the wrong idea about what leasing is. So I lease this truck because I make more money by leasing this truck than I did as an employee. I'm buying it, I have to then take some of that extra money that I'm making and turn it into stuff like health insurance and taxes and all these things that were part of being an employee before. I now handle myself, and I like that because I am very much a control freak. There's the engine brakes going. I'm very much a control freak, so I'm pretty okay with handling that stuff myself. And I like the extra autonomy that comes with leasing the truck, because I have the right to say no to loads. I have a little more control over where I go. I can take time off whenever I want instead of having to, wait a couple of weeks to earn days off. If I can afford it, I can just go, okay, I'm taking this day off, and then in 2 weeks I'm taking another 2 days off, which we're doing next month, actually. I'm taking a 4-day weekend at my sister's house to go see, we're going to be seeing Greg Proops and a couple of the comedians that he travels with on the Who's Live circuit. We're mostly going to see Greg Proops because he's awesome. Here's Pop. So we also, like 2 weeks later, I'm going to be visiting my dad for a night for Thanksgiving dinner. And that's only going to be one night. That's one day, because I love my dad, but let's just do one. But I'm probably also going to find, it's probably going to be a 2-day time off, because I'm hoping to see my mom as well. But, Thanksgiving with Dad, and maybe visit my mom, and then we're back on the road. And then I'm not going to be taking time off again. I'm not going to be taking time off again until New Year's, because, you can make a lot of money if you stay out for the whole December. So, those are things that I have the option to do because I'm a lease-op. So that's one of the reasons I like it. But I'm also, making a percentage of what the truck earns, I'm making more money, just on the whole. I am making more money. That's it. I am not leasing this truck to ever own this truck. I don't expect I ever will. Honestly, because we've already put 129,892 miles on this thing in only a year and a couple of weeks. I suspect we'll be out of warranty on this truck before the end of my 5-year lease, because the warranty is only 500,000 miles. So what's probably going to happen is I'm probably just going to end up chaining leases on different trucks, or I'll end up putting aside money and just buying my own truck, because that is an option. But when, the deal I'm making is that I am spending a certain amount of money every week on basically renting this truck, because renting this truck earns me money. So I'm not investing in this truck. That money I'm spending for this, like,
I-15 Southwest 93 South.
Thank you, Thomas. That money that I am spending on having the truck is money that I'm spending on having the truck for that week. That money's gone the second I give it to the company. I'm not investing in this truck. That money I'm putting into the truck payment every week is not value that I'm investing in this truck that I will have at the end. I fully expect I will not ever take ownership of this vehicle, because it's probably going to run the warranty out before I finish my lease term, and then I'd probably be able, if I haven't bought my own truck by then, I'd probably just roll into another lease on a brand new tractor, rather than try and finish this lease and wind up paying for all the repairs. Because the other thing with the lease is, by the time you own the tractor, if you decide to own the tractor, you have paid a whole lot more money than that tractor is now worth at the end. And we had a driver who had a rough time of it. He was looking at good grief. He was looking at his lease as an investment and found out the hard way that it wasn't. He was so I have no sympathy for this guy, because he was a total jerk. Big, massive bigot. Just awful to LGBT people. But he was a trainer and a lease operator. So he put a whole lot of miles on his truck in a very short amount of time. So he's 4 years and 8 months into his lease, and he destroyed his engine. Some bad choices got made, which, when you're leasing the truck, the driver is responsible for maintenance and repairs. So once you're out of warranty, which this guy was by like 300,000 miles, once you're out of warranty, this is steep, 25 mile an hour up this ramp going onto a freeway. Once you're out of warranty, it's not cost effective at that point to put money into the truck. So for 4 years, 8 months into the lease, he's 4 months from being able to just buy the truck outright for like $200. Oh good, people are moving over. Yay. I made it to 45 mile an hour before I merged out onto this interstate. I'm still going way too slow. We're on I-15 now. So his truck was basically totaled 4 months before he could have bought it. And he's looking at it like, I wasted all of this time that I've been leasing this truck because I know this truck is not mine anymore. And it's like, the truck was never yours, you were renting it. And what you paid for was all that time that you got to drive the truck and earn lots of money by driving that truck. So he's just super angry because the company wouldn't buy him a new engine. Which is like, the company, of course they're not going to buy you a new engine. You destroyed your truck. It's not their fault. But so like, if you do something like that, he got 800,000 miles out of that truck. That's pretty darn good for under 5 years. So he certainly made plenty of money. Should have, anyway. Like, we've got other drivers that have finished leases and wound up buying the truck, and that's an option. You know, if you actually run the lease that long and decide you want the truck, you can do that. But you have to take care of the truck, and the truck has to survive the lease in order for you to then buy it at the end. You can't buy a truck that's no longer functioning. I really would like to move over. There's a tow truck. Yep. Sorry, cutting you off. saw my signal. I am not running over a tow truck driver. Oh, you have no bumper. Clearly you have made some questionable decisions, like trying to pass a truck that is attempting to change lanes. But, so, do I recommend leasing? I recommend leasing if you are like me and don't plan on taking tons of time off, and you can run a truck profitably to make up for the fact that you're spending, you know, $995 a week on the truck payment and another $300 on, well, another $205 on, no, $250 on permits and stuff to run the truck. If you can still turn a profit doing that, yeah, leasing can be good for you. It's working out pretty great for me. But if you need the protections of being an employee, be an employee. That makes a lot more sense, especially if you're new to the industry. You're so much better off being an employee while you learn the ropes, while you learn what places are safe to park, what customers are good customers and reliable customers that you visit a lot, and learning just like the highways of this country. Like, hey, it makes more sense to go down this road than this road because even though it's 60 miles longer, this road's, you know, this road is 300 miles of 2-lane blacktop, and then 500 miles of interstate on either end. Or this other road, which is just 800 miles of 2-lane blacktop. It's like, well, yeah, the direct route might be a little bit shorter, but by having the interstates be the majority of the route by going the slightly longer way, it's a little bit safer. Also, at the moment, I have routed through Las Vegas so that I don't end up anywhere near the fires around Grapevine. Because it's fire season, y'all. You got to pay attention to that weather. But yeah, so should you lease? Maybe. I can't definitely recommend against it. You definitely shouldn't roll into a lease right out of training. That's a terrible idea. But you should very much not lease a truck to own the truck. That should not be your objective. That if it works out that way, that you end up being able to just buy the truck at the end of your lease, that's an awesome bonus to a good job of leasing the truck. But you should only lease if you can turn a profit while running that truck that you are okay with if that's all you get out of that experience. Like, if the money you earn leasing the truck is the only thing you walk away with, that needs to be enough. Because you might not have that truck at the end because you're not investing in it, you're renting it. And if something happens to it, it's just gone. And you can, you know, that driver I mentioned earlier, he had the option of leasing another truck because our boss was way nicer to him than I thought he should have been. Like, he could have just started a new lease, kept earning money the way he was. You know, he'd been doing it fine for 4.5 years. He could have kept making money that way. But he was super angry that he didn't have his truck that was never his to begin with. So, I don't know. That's some more feedback on leasing for you. Do I think it's a good idea? If you go into it with the right attitude and understanding what the exchange is. You're renting a truck to pretend to be a business person. That's what you're doing. You don't own the truck, you're renting it. And the cool thing about renting the truck is that makes the truck a tax deduction. So, you know, it can be pretty good for you financially if you do it carefully enough. Las Vegas, 14 miles. I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helped if you are considering the lease purchase program at a company like Wilson Logistics or Prime or any of the other big companies. You've really got to be careful because, again, don't do it if you're not going to make money doing it. Don't do it expecting to have a truck at the end. Do it for whatever income you're going, like, do it if it makes financial sense for you. If week over week making that truck payment and paying for your own permits and stuff, you are still turning a profit, then it's a great idea. Go for it. But don't go into that as like expecting to make less money, but own a truck at the end, because that's a terrible idea. Like, if you're making more money as a company driver, stay as a company driver. Like, that makes so much more sense if that's how it's working out for you. And that's one of the things I love about Wilson Logistics. If you start leasing at Wilson and it's not working out for you, you can just switch to a company driver. Like, they are fine with that. You can just switch to being an employee from leasing if it's not working out. It's great. They're awesome about that sort of thing. And they're not trying to screw people out of the truck at the end, but, you know, you kind of have to take care of the truck enough for it to survive the lease if you want to buy it at the end. So that's just, you know, I hope this helps. I really hope this helps. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Ellie O'Dare. You can find me on the internet at Ellie O'Dare on, like, Xbox Live, Steam, Nintendo Switch, Twitter. Twitter's a great place to get a hold of me. I check Twitter all the time, like every time I stop the truck, basically. You can also find me on Instagram if you want to see cool pictures of stuff. Like, I just stopped at the Alamo Sinclair in Alamo, Nevada on US 93, and they had an absolutely fantastic fall setup of, like, just fall decorations on a cart. And then in front of that was just a wash bucket that was full of Sinclair dolls and, like, pink plastic balls that looked like bubbles. So it was like a bunch of Sinclairs taking a bubble bath, it looked like. It was just fantastic. I loved it. It was like a basket of adorableness. So yeah, you can see stuff like that on my Instagram, at Ellie O'Dare. Or you can leave comments below the videos. I do read all of them and reply to a bunch, I guess. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day. Welcome to Las Vegas. North Las Vegas. It's like, that's the Las Vegas Raceway over there. Which, I don't see any fancy cars going around the track at the moment, which is, normally you go past this place and there's like Corvettes and stuff driving around the racetrack, but there's not right now, so I'm sorry. Hello, bus. Bye! Have a great day. Did I say that? Maybe I said that. I don't know. Bye!